I am finally sitting down to film this video that I have been meaning to film for months. I asked on my Instagram a couple months ago if you guys have any questions on like our infertility journey and all of that. I'm like, I don't know if I feel like talking that much right now, but I also asked those questions like 2 months ago, so I feel like I should answer them. Made myself a little coffee to keep me going. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor if you're new here. If not, welcome back. I'm already not happy with the start of this video. I feel like I'm not being very organized. Okay, so we have been in our TTC journey for 2.5, 2 years, 2.5, somewhere in between there. We've been through a period of like, we'll see what happens, we're relaxed, we're chill. That was like in the beginning. And then after like a year of things not happening, I was like, okay, like it seems like it should have happened by now. So then like tried by like tracking literally everything for a year. So I was tracking my BBT, I was tracking my ovulation, nothing for another year. And then we've also, for the past 6 months since we moved to Arizona, have been seeing a fertility doctor here and doing a lot of tests and stuff, basically finding out that everything is normal. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. That's kind of like the big overall situation. Some days are really bad, some days are fine. It's been a doozy of a journey. I'll probably continue to share more with you guys as time goes on. Like just recently I started being a little bit more open about it, because like initially it's like you don't really want everyone to know because people start giving you opinions that you don't want. I'm just gonna start answering questions because maybe it'll clear up some of like how this feels if you've never experienced it. I'm not even quite sure what questions I'm gonna answer yet, so I'm just gonna read some of them and then we'll see. Okay, question number 1, is this one of the reasons of your move to Arizona? No, this is an easy answer. We wanted to move to Arizona for many reasons. We also were just ready to get out of Washington for many reasons. Fertility was not one of them, no. But we were waiting to find a doctor until we moved here, and we've known for like a year and a half like that we were gonna move for sure. And I didn't want to get established with a doctor in Washington before we were gonna move because, you know, it's expensive. I wanted to just kind of like establish myself with one person. We did wait until we moved to find a doctor, but that was not the reason. I don't want to get like too detailed on like medical things. Like I told you, everything is normal, but like multiple questions, and I know it comes from a good place, was people asking if my husband has been tested and if everything's fine. Yes, literally all of our stuff has come back normal. The only thing was that I'm like pretty anemic, and I have been since high school. My doctor like pretty immediately put me on iron. So that's literally the only thing that came back abnormal. But like I've had transvaginal ultrasounds, he's had male testing, and everything is normal. If not just normal, like it's good. So yeah, none of it really makes sense, but yeah. Third question, are you guys going to try IUI or IVF? I don't know. At this point, no, because it's expensive. And we've already spent thousands of dollars on like testing and everything. I think that's like obviously there's so many hard things about infertility, but that's like one thing that is definitely challenging, is like you're just spending money on like the chance to try to get pregnant, and it is a gamble because you don't know if it's going to be successful. And I'm not going to say never, I'm going to say not right now for sure. There is a point where, I don't know, like maybe you just move on to something else. Like I'm open to adoption. I would say we haven't necessarily had that conversation as a couple yet. We haven't gotten to the point of having that conversation. It's kind of like when you're in this journey, you're just trying, you know, one thing at a time. You're not really thinking forward. Like, I don't know, that's my opinion anyway. So I don't know if we're gonna try any of that stuff. Like maybe if the doctors recommend it, but at this point the doctors haven't recommended it. They've recommended just like, well, we're seeing a naturopath, so like obviously natural remedies first. I don't know, never say never. So this is number 4, I think, question number 4. It's not really a question, it's more of just a comment that I wanted to speak to, but this girl said, we have been trying for the past 3 months, already have a gut feeling something is wrong. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but like try not to stress, because actual like infertility by the definition is a year of trying unprotected and not conceiving. So give yourself a year solid before you even like go talk to a doctor and stuff. And I remember I did try to talk to a doctor before we had even started trying, because I'm like, I want to know if anything's wrong ahead of time, which totally makes sense. But it is pretty normal for even like the healthiest of people to take 6 to 12 months to fall pregnant. So I wouldn't put too much pressure on yourself that early. Like I said, the first year of us trying, like we were so relaxed about it. And like, I was not stressed at all. I always had a gut feeling since I was a kid that something would be wrong with me reproductive wise. I don't know why, but anyway, so all of our tests have come back normal, so I don't know what that feeling is about, but like apparently it was right. So the first year I really tried to just like be relaxed and chill about it and not stress too much, and then once we hit the year point, then I was like, wait, maybe something's wrong. And then we started tracking like super strict on everything, and then it still didn't happen. And so then at that point I was like, okay, we should probably see a doctor. But I don't know, try to just relax and have fun with it, because if it, which God forbid it is, but like if it is an infertility journey for you, like if you're already feeling super stressed in the beginning, it's just gonna get harder, because the longer time goes on, it gets more challenging. And I definitely struggle with it more now than I did a year and a half ago. So yeah, I just remember being real chill about it in the beginning. And you can't change anything at the end of the day. Like if you're doing the best that you can, then I know it's easier said than done, but like, why stress if you can't control it, you know? Okay, this question number 5 says, how has your marriage changed in this journey? I would say overall, our marriage has gotten stronger, because like when you go through adversity with your spouse or just with anyone in general, friendships, family, whatever, it'll make or break you pretty much. And like we've been through a lot of challenging things together, but like this really takes both of us being strong for each other and like supporting each other. And also it's such a lonely journey unless you have like other friends going through it and stuff. And often you probably do, but maybe you're not talking to them about it. But it's a very lonely journey. None of my family had, well, I will say, I guess like one of my immediate family members, it did take them like a year and a half to get pregnant. So like she somewhat understands it, but like no one else in my family has experienced like the length of infertility we have. One of my sisters has a kid, the other sister is currently pregnant, so like that is challenging for me to be around, especially considering like our state of everything right now. They all know that though. I'm pretty open and I try to be as supportive as possible, but it's also like really hard when it's like immediately in your face all the time to not feel like triggered by it. But I am a believer that like your triggers are kind of your own responsibility. My point in saying all that is like your spouse kind of has to be and should be your number one support person during this, because they're the ones physically going through it with you. So like obviously like any relationship, parts of it have been really hard, like have caused some tension at points where, you know, you're like, okay, we're spending all this money and nothing's happening. You have those conversations like, are we wasting our money? And I feel like this is probably so common for anyone that's experiencing this journey. I would say overall, like as a whole, this has made us stronger and we've gotten even closer, which doesn't always seem possible until you go through something hard with the person you're married to, because you have that choice, like is it gonna tear us apart or is it gonna make us stronger? And yeah, I think it's really helped a lot because we've had to lean on each other a lot. And I cry a lot these days now, so like he's obviously the one that's here in our home with me, so like he's the biggest support person. But yeah. Okay, number 6, what do you do that helps with the sadness / frustration when you get your period? I think for me personally, I don't normally cry like when I get my period. I know a lot of girls do, but I'm more so I'm just like bummed. Like I'm like, dang it, well, I don't know. And I actually like a lot of times don't even test anymore, because after 2.5 years, it's like, why waste tests? Because it's freaking always negative. So a lot of times I don't test and I just wait until my period comes. And so that's how I find out. And you know, because like you're cramping before it comes, and me anyway. So like, I don't know, I feel like I just like expect, because I know it's gonna be negative, it's always negative, and then it is, and then I'm like, yep, freaking knew it, okay. And then I usually have a beverage to get over it, which isn't great maybe, but I don't know, it's a really challenging thing to go through. And it's hard because you have like all these really positive, hopeful feelings in the beginning, and then literally after 2.5 years, like it's hard to stay hopeful anymore, because you just feel like you're wasting your time. You feel like, I don't know, gosh, sorry, this is probably a depressing video, but I feel like it'll help people who are going through the same thing, just to hear that other people feel the same way, because I need that, and I always look for videos like that where I can relate to somebody. Oh man, yeah, so I don't really have any advice. Like I just try to keep living my life, and I always tell myself I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing what I can. I follow whatever the doctor says to do, and like since ours is a naturopath, it's more focused on like diet and all that stuff. Obviously I'm not perfect, but like I'm doing what I can. I'm following the regimen. I'm, you know, can't do anything more than that. And so at the end of the day, like when I do start my period, I'm like, damn it, that sucks. But you know, I guess we'll try again next month. It's just like an exhausting roller coaster, unfortunately. But I just try to keep living my life. Like I just stay busy. The things that make me really emotional is when I see people I'm close to get pregnant, because it's a really challenging feeling. Like you are happy for them, but like it's just another reminder of like what's not happening for you, and it feels very unfair, but life's not fair. So that is when I cry. I cry almost every time that I see that someone I know is pregnant, and hopefully if anyone that I know that's pregnant right now sees that, don't think I'm like rude, because you probably don't understand the feeling. It's really weird when you're experiencing infertility and you're trying for something, your intentions are for something, you're spending money on that thing every month, and then you see people post, oh, oopsies, like we got pregnant. It's like, why is it so easy for some people and not for other people? So it's just like it's a challenging thing. But anyway, you just gotta keep living your life. So like I would just recommend staying busy, hang out with your friends, hang out with your spouse, go do an activity, I don't know, stay busy. So next question, if you're unable to have biological children, would you adopt? How do you feel about that? I can only speak for myself because I'm the one here right now. But like I said earlier, I'm open to it. I don't know where we stand as a couple on it. Like I said, we haven't had that conversation like intentionally yet. We're just not at that point right now. So I do know that we want to like give it more time to try naturally, or try biologically and naturally before like IUI or IVF or anything like that. But like me personally, I'm open to it. We will see what the future holds. I don't know. Next question, are your periods regular? The most. Literally the most. Like everything is textbook perfect. That's why none of it makes sense. So on the dot, every month, it always comes. Everything's regular. 7 days, every 28 days, whatever. Like it's textbook. That's why all the doctors are like, huh, weird. I'm like, yeah, weird. So I don't know, everything's normal on both sides, both my husband and I. So explain that one to me. I don't know. I've had transvaginal ultrasounds. I got nothing. I got no cysts. I got no endometriosis that we know of anyway, I guess. I never did an HSG. That's the only thing I haven't done yet. So I don't know if that's coming in the future, but everything's normal. So who knows? The last one I'm gonna answer is, do you share all your frustrations with your partner? What can they do to help? So yes, I share everything. And I think it's just a hard position, because I think like, you know, we've had multiple conversations like this, and my husband's like trying to support, but like he's never gonna understand, because it's just different. Like the female is the one that has to make a lot of, I mean, he's obviously made changes as well, but like I've had to make more of the physical changes, like to my diet, lifestyle, all that kind of stuff. All of this is obviously per our doctor's orders. Like we're following what she says, and majority of that is me changing a lot of things. And so that's the part that's really hard, where it is helpful to have another friend who's going through the same thing, that's making those same sacrifices, where like it's weird. You feel like you're missing out on life, because like there's some times where like I go out with people and I want to have a drink and I want to do this thing, but like the doctor's like, probably don't drink in your 2-week wait because you might be pregnant. So you don't, and which everything's not about drinking. This is just my example. You're like making these decisions just in case you're pregnant, and then when you find out you're not, you're like, damn, I could have freaking had a cocktail and I would have been fine. And I know that's, oh my gosh, that's a whole other thing, because people are like, you can drink, like I was drunk and I didn't even know, and I had a baby that's healthy. But if you're dealing with infertility, you're willing to do anything to like adjust your lifestyle to ideally get pregnant and stay pregnant. Like that's, you just sacrifice so much because you're just trying to get a healthy baby and keep a healthy baby. But like if you were able to live La Vida Loca and have a healthy baby, that's amazing. I'm proud of you. But that's not the realistic story for a lot of people. And so anyway, I just hate when people always tell me that. They're like, get drunk, you'll get pregnant. It's like, okay, we probably did that the first year of our trying, and it never happened. And then, you know, we got real strict, tracking everything, never happened. And we've done it all. And that's the other thing too, is like generally people that have dealt with infertility have tried everything. Generally, they've already spoken to a doctor, they're already following their protocol, whatever, okay? So anyway, my point is, for the spouse, like, ideally they're just trying to support you the best they can. And like, I know Garrett supports me, but it's just gonna be different because like he doesn't really know what my body is going through, or like what male, female, it's just different. So like in that case, I would recommend having like a girlfriend if you know someone that is going through the same thing. Like if I want to talk about like a female aspect of like going through infertility, then I'll talk to my friends. But if it's like more for support, then I'll talk to my spouse. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I don't know, just give grace to your husband, because there's been times I've been really frustrated because I feel like he doesn't get my perspective, but like he probably never will, because he's not a woman. He's just not gonna understand. Like it's gonna be a different experience, and I'll never get his perspective either. Like it's just, that's just the nature of the game, I guess. I don't know. Bonus clip really quick. So I just wanted to say this because I totally forgot. As far as like protecting your own mind, like, you know, I think you're responsible for your own triggers and stuff, but like also protecting your mind and what is like hard for you to see or whatever. I have had to mute multiple people's like Instagram stories just simply because it's really hard for me to see, especially when people announce they're pregnant. They tend to only post pregnancy stuff and all of that, and it's just like hard to watch sometimes. So like if you're in that position where it's hard for you to see it, or you just need to not see it for a bit, you don't have to unfollow people. And also like if you're pregnant and your friend is like not seeing your stories and stuff because they're struggling with infertility, don't be offended. Like you just have to understand it's like hard for people to see that in their face every day. Like there was a point where I had to just like, I didn't watch anyone's stories for weeks at a time because I was like, I can literally not handle how many people are pregnant right now. It's hard to see it all the time. And then I eventually just muted them on Instagram, and I still love them and I'm happy for them, but like I just cannot watch that right now. So that's just another piece of advice for you. If you need to mute people's stories, you can do that. I think it's like well, I think there's a little 3-button thing on the top when you're looking at their story. You can mute it. You can also mute posts if you need to do that, but I usually just mute stories. But anyway, yeah, protect your mind. I feel like this video like potentially was kind of depressing, but it's also just very realistic. It's a hard thing to go through, and it's very lonely, and it's emotional, and it's hard because you want to like still live your life. And I would say like that first year of us trying, I put a lot of things on hold because I thought we were gonna get pregnant, and I'm like, well, I don't want to do this thing because I'm gonna be pregnant soon. Fast forward, it's been 2.5 years, still not pregnant, and there's so many things that I could have done that I missed out on because I thought I was gonna get pregnant. So my advice to you is just to keep living your life. If you do get pregnant, you can always change your plans, but like don't assume it's gonna happen right away for you. Just keep living your life and like let it surprise you, if that makes sense. That's what I would have done differently. I regret that a little bit. Now it's been 2.5 years of my life, and there's some things that I would have done that I didn't do, or I could have pursued like work-wise that I didn't pursue, because that's another thing with women is like generally women in the workforce, when they get pregnant, they either get let go or they have to leave because they're sick and they can't work. And so like your lifestyle just changes so much. Like you feel like you can't pursue certain things maybe because you think you're gonna get pregnant, and then when you don't, you're like, I could have pursued that thing. So you should just pursue whatever you want. Keep living your life as if nothing's changing. And then if it does change, then you can adjust things. That's my biggest advice for you women out there. But anyway, if you guys ever have questions or comments, or you just want to vent or something, you can always message me on Instagram at @TayTerrell. And I'm trying to just like live my life and not be too bummed that like life looks different than I thought it would at this point, but you just can't control everything, or you can't control a lot of things. But anyway, so that's just that's my situation, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Why did I do that? That was ew.